More information is now developing on the stunt, the despicable scam that Donald Trump tried to pull in Detroit over the weekend. The corporate media was going to aid and abet it. Of course, his right-wing propaganda media was ready to do it. But because of you all and because of our editorial team at the MeidasTouch Network and this incredible pro-democracy community and all the citizen journalists out there, we called it out. Thank you for your hard work. So Donald Trump claimed that he was going to this black church and it was going to show all of the black support he had in places like Detroit. So he went to this church. It was called the 180 Church. And one of the things we noticed right away was that there were no black congregants at this purported black church. Where are the black parishioners? So we looked into it even more, and what it seemed was that Trump rented out a black church and had his kind of white MAGA followers go all in the audience. It was like over 50%, I think closer to like 90% white. I'll show you the videos in a little bit. And then Donald Trump had on stage a group of black MAGA supporters who follow him around from city to city. And that was the scam that he was going to pull. He was then going to have, his team like Kellyanne Conway go out there and say there were 8,000 people who were at the church. And look at all of the support he had. And then he was going to have Murdoch Properties go, look at all of the black outreach that he does. This shows that he has support. The same stuff that we called out in New York when he did the bodega scam. And it turned out that it was actually all of these people who worked at the Young Republicans who were there chanting his name, or when Donald Trump went to the Chick-fil-A and then he had a woman who works for like the Republican Party, quite literally like an operative who follows him around place to place, give him a hug. And then all the media was like, look, a black woman gave him a hug at a Chick-fil-A. That shows that he's got support. By the way, she was at this event in Detroit as well. I'll show you that in a moment. I'll have all of the receipts for you. But we were able to kind of call it out early, what was going on there. And finally, I think that we were able to shut down the media narrative. We did a video called Trump's Speech Fail in Black Church. Not many black people, where Trump basically rented out a purported black church. But this church, go look at the history of the 180 Church. It is embroiled in all of this litigation. The pastor who purportedly runs it, Lorenzo Sewell, was like arrested, and he claimed that they were like pastor jacking, whatever that means. And he's been accused of there's been all these accusations and all this litigation embroiled in this church. So I'll give you that background. You go look into more of all the litigation there. Maybe I'll do a whole other video on that. But according to one reporter who was there were only, get this, 8 black Trump supporters who were there. 8 black Trump supporters, and only one of those black Trump supporters actually lived in Detroit. And if you just take a look at the photographs here, you'll see the audience was basically all white people. I mean, that's why we did the video that we made instantaneously. Trump's speech fail in black church, not many black people. I had to be very clear with my headline, what was actually going on here. So let me just show you. See the photo right there? Take a look. I'm just going to give you 2 camera angles. And then I want to show you how the right-wing narrative was just cut off. So here, let me just show you another camera angle so you can judge for yourself. Play this clip.
All those galleries in front of every picture, who painted what period it represented. I've always listened to all kinds of different music, and really supplemented my education.
I'll give you one more. I could do like 10 of these, but you get the point. I'll show you just another camera angle right here. So here was the headline, right? New York Post was ready. The Murdoch Properties, Fox, they're ready to go with this. So they write, Donald Trump offers message to black voters in immigrant-weary Detroit, taking your jobs. And the New York Post, after it was exposed, actually had to change. It was subtle. Their headline stayed the same. But the headline went from, on June 15th, the presumptive GOP nominee appealed to the mostly black crowd, to June 16th, they changed it. It was subtle. The presumptive GOP nominee focused on black voters. Focused on black voters. How offensive can you be? You go in a black church and you pretend, I mean, you could be more offensive than that, and he is. We'll go over that too. But you rent out a black church and you fake that there are black people there to try to trick people after all of the despicable things Donald Trump's done in his life to harm black Americans? Come on. So here's Kellyanne Conway. She goes, there's 8,000 people. 8,000 people were there. Watch this. Play this clip.
Biden's not doing anything like that. Look at the contrast of just this weekend. You got Donald Trump in Detroit talking to 8,000 people, and then at a black church, of course. By the way, he did that.
Have you ever wished that you had a whiter and brighter smile? Well, before you visit a dentist, you should know that their whitening treatments can be very expensive. And it's not just the price. You also have to book the appointment and schedule time away from work or your family to just sit in a dentist's office chair while undergoing the procedure. Look, it's a hassle. Fortunately, now you can try Smile Actives at home or anywhere, anytime. Smile Actives offers a safe and an affordable alternative to those expensive whitening procedures. You may not have known this, but I won Best Smile in high school, and it's a lot of pressure to keep up with that. So throughout my adulthood, I used a variety of different whitening agents, and honestly, they were complicated, messy, and they didn't work. Having a nice, bright smile is so important. First impressions and all that. You know what they say. That's why I'm so happy I found Smile Actives. Now, Smile Actives makes a teeth whitening gel that can simply be added to your toothpaste every time you brush your teeth. So no change in your routine, no extra time, and no more messy strips, trays, or lights. Simply add Smile Actives Pro Whitening Gel to your regular toothpaste. It's been formulated with polyclean technology to boost stain removal and deliver active whitening ingredients into teeth's grooves and crannies to get better whitening. 97% of Smile Actives users in a clinical trial reported up to 6 shades whiter on average, all within 30 days. People will start commenting on your whiter, brighter smile in just days. Visit smileactives.com/Meidas today to receive a special buy one, get one free offer with auto delivery plus free shipping and handling. That's smileactives.com/Meidas. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details.
Here's a photo of the church. It doesn't hold more than 500 people, okay? I think there may have been, you saw the crowd, 300 people there? And this is just so stupid. All 108,000 people, 75,000 people, 25, they just make everything they do is a lie. And that's why it's important that we call it out, every aspect of it. Look, I want to show you this. This is what the Shade Room published. And frankly, they were trying to push some false stuff too. Look at the headline that they gave. What's this? The Shade Room goes, Donald Trump receives warm welcome at Detroit roundtable. Pastor says Obama and Biden never came to the hood. First off, it's just a false statement. But what I loved when I read the comments, people get it. People get it. The corporate media wants to push these stunts, but people get it. Here's what, let me just read some of the comments. So let me get this straight. Biden banned medical debt from your credit report, cracked down on junk fees like the kind Ticketmaster uses, banned no-compete clauses, capped credit card fees, gave Medicare the power to negotiate lower drug prices, capped the cost of insulin, expanded overtime pay, but because Trump sold you sneakers and signed a stimulus check that Congress gave you, which is one of the reasons for our current inflation, that's what makes Trump better? You can't name one policy he created personally, but he gets your vote? Here's another comment. Coming to the hood and actually doing something to improve the conditions in the hood are two different things. Another comment. But when Biden was actually hiring black people for his team and cabinet, MAGA sheep was calling that pandering. So what the F is this? I would love for him to have a meeting with the Central Park Five now that they are adults. Another comment. That's not a fact. Obama created policy exclusively for Detroit. Bethy writes, He could be spent the night, fried chicken and baked macaroni. He's not getting my vote. I remember January 6th. This man brings white supremacists together. I've seen it in my town. And Steve writes, Trump is the president for the low literacy humans. Another comment. This is the same guy who wanted the death penalty for the exonerated Central Park Five who were young black boys from the hood wrongfully convicted. And then the response, the next comment. So he visits the hood now and he's a hero, but he kept the hood from renting his properties. And then the next comment. The congregation looks awfully Caucasian to be in the hood. It's giving paid actor vibes. The next comment, but the majority of the crowd is white people. We're not supposed to notice that. I could keep going on and on and on. And then Byron Donalds, who was one of the people on stage, and this commentator goes, at an event moderated by Byron Donalds, who claims that Jim Crow is better for black families, Trump is being welcomed as better for minorities. Like, what are we talking about right there? Also, as part of the scam, look over here. You have Michaela Montgomery again, the same lady who was in the Chick-fil-A. And then, the propaganda gets pushed. Remember the beautiful woman who hugged rightful President Trump at a Chick-fil-A? Here she is in Detroit. Share this to make it go viral. The Patriot Takes account wrote, LOL, that's because she's not like a random person. She's a MAGA operative for years. She works with the Charlie Kirk group, who's against Martin Luther King, who says that black people shouldn't be pilots on airplanes. That's the organization that she works for. And of course, MeidasTouch broke the exclusive that Michaela Montgomery did that fake hug at the Chick-fil-A. And that, look, her LinkedIn says that she's an intern at the Republican Party in Georgia. You go to Hollywood Unlocked as well. And again, their headline is so bogus. Detroit pastor proudly welcomes Donald Trump to the hood as Detroit rapper Sada Baby I Swear Vezo and Pezzi endorse him. And then look at these comments. Great. One comment. There were only 8 black people at the church and only one was from Detroit. If you fall for this, you could fall for anything. When will we learn that Trump doesn't give an F about nobody? The next comment, the entire crowd was white. Only the people on the stage were black. In Detroit, y'all. Plies writes, the media want to make you believe every time Trump's sitting down with someone black or in the room with 200, 300 people, they want you to believe those people represent the whole race. No, that's how that small group feel. It's called media Trump manipulation. It's all a game to them. The only reason you hear so much talk about Trump and the black vote is because America knows how powerful the black vote really is. The problem is black folks don't know how powerful their vote is. That's why Trump is trying to trick everyone they get a chance about his black support. Again, all bogus, all lies over and over again. Raquel writes, so when they said black church, they just meant rented out a black church to hold this Trump rally, not that the black parishioners were actually there. And then you go through Donald Trump's, when he said black outreach. I talked about the Chick-fil-A. I talked about the fake bodega stunt. There was the thing he did in, I think it was Wisconsin, where he had a woman on stage and she claimed that her business is failing under Biden, but it was thriving under Trump. And she says that immigrants shouldn't be, an immigrant went into her shop and was on, brought food stamps, and that made her really angry. And then it turns out, again, another stunt, another fake. She didn't even have a store opened when Trump was in office. Her small business was able to open because of President Biden. And before Biden was in office, she had declared bankruptcy 3 times. And she was on, she needed food stamps and government assistance. And then think about Trump's other outreach. When he was in the Bronx, he brought on stage Chef G and someone named Sleepy Hollow, who were indicted in New York, 140 count criminal indictment for murder, where it's alleged that they lead the Crips gang and that they killed somebody and were engaged in 12 attempted murders. And Trump calls them on stage and says, and talks about their grill. And that's his blackout. What? Here, just watch the 140 count indictment for murder and alleging that they lead the Crips. Here, play this clip.
Oh, I like that. I want to get that done.
President Trump, oh man. One thing I want to say, One thing I want to say, they always gonna whisper your accomplishments and shout your failures. Trump gonna shout the wins for all of us. Make America great again.
Thank you, fellas.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. That's where I like those teeth. I want to find out where you did. I got to get my teeth like that.
Someone who Donald Trump also brought on stage with him at that Wildwood, New Jersey events, Lawrence Taylor, a registered sex offender, Trump brought on stage. Then we have Kwame Kilpatrick, who he brought on stage in Detroit, a convicted felon for fraud and racketeering. Then Donald Trump has the fake gold shoe with the red bottoms. That's part of the black outreach. And then they go on Fox and say, oh, that shows that this is a really great way to reach out to the black vote. What? What? Here, this is what Fox says about Trump's golden slipper with fake red bottoms. Here, play this clip.
Black America, because they love sneakers. They're into sneakers. They love this is a big deal, certainly in the inner city. So when you have Trump roll out his sneaker line, they're like, wait a minute, this is cool. He's reaching them on a level that defies and is above politics. The culture always trumps politics. And Trump understands culture like no politician I've ever seen.
Question for you on that point, though.
Yeah.
Will the people that are excited about the sneakers and excited about Donald Trump, will that translate into them going out and voting for Donald Trump?
Well, anybody willing to put $400 down for a pair of sneakers? Yeah, I think that's commitment and love.
It's hope
something.
You're right.
It's something. It's affection.
And it's just some just outrageous stuff right there. Robin of Detroit writes, I don't see many black Detroiters at this black church. The pastor claims he wants to hear about Trump's plan for Black America. You know the one Trump only shared with black rappers, athletes, and black felons, not with black people in corporate USA. Tola writes, is this a black church? All I see are white people chanting the name of a convicted felon cult leader. Look, and Grandma Blunt writes, Trump black church visits a photo op for words. There was no black congregation. So who was this for? They borrowed the church. If your preachers participated in this mess, I wouldn't go back, period. That's why go look into the history of this church, look into the history of the litigation surrounding it and what's going on there as well. Anyway, I just want to give you those data points so you have them. And great work to all the citizen journalists, for all the people who are calling this out. And it was such a privilege and honor that Meidas right away, our editorial team, stepped up, boom, and we had that published right away. Great. Thank you to their work. If you want to help their work too, one of the ways you can do that is patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. All right, we'll keep you posted. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.